Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on This Is Just the Beginning. I'm your host Ellie and I hope you're having a really good day. I know I am because it's really sunny even though it's cold and miserable outside. It's still a really sunny day and this is kind of what I talk about later on in the episode about how we can still kind of enjoy the winter time even though the weather's shit and we just want to stay in bed all day. As well as that, we get ill, and as if you can tell with my voice, I've had tonsillitis or a throat infection or something, because I'm quite prone to tonsillitis, and I haven't had it in a while. The last time I had it was May. I usually get it like twice a year, so maybe this is the time. But yeah, I'm not very well at the moment, but I wanted to come on and do a podcast for you guys because I'm feeling very inspired today. I just come back from therapy and then I just tidied my room up, and I honestly, the first thing I'm going to say in this episode is that when you're in a slump, I want to say, something that really does help me is that I changed my room around a bit. So I think it was last week, maybe the week before. Actually, no, I don't think it was that long ago, maybe a few days ago. I got down loads of frames from my room because when I left for uni, my mum changed my room around to kind of be like a guest bedroom kind of thing. Like I had so many posters, not posters, but like affirmation sheets, like blue tacked the wall. There was so many like photos and everything just glued to the wall, so she repainted my room, filled in all the holes kind of thing, took down all the frames that were hung up, and now I just kind of like rest them on the wall kind of thing or like on a shelf. And I didn't get that because honestly my room was an absolute mess. But so after she did that, she was like, do not blue tack anything on your walls. I know you're home now for however long you're going to be home now that you are not going to uni, etc. But so I changed. Like, I've got really old photos in my frames of, I've got some like Taylor Swift quotes and Reputation album covers and stuff like that on my wall because I love Taylor and she will be on my wall because I love her. She's my role model always. And I also had a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo on my wall because from the age of, I think it was like 13, 14, I fell in love with him and I'm still in love with that guy. So I'm with that. So what's the word, just loving him based on his body. But you know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say that, but it's true. And honestly, I hope you can understand me right now because I know my throat is closing up, but I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna be strong, it's okay. But yeah, so I just changed my frames around because last year, or was it the year before at uni? I think it was actually uni, I started using the free prints thing when you get 50 free photos a month on Free Prints, which is this app you can download and you just have to pay for delivery. This is not a sponsor or something, but I love it so much. It's so good for when you're at uni and everyone has to have photos all around their room, like blue tacked when you can, onto your wardrobe, etc. And actually no, I think it was second year uni I started doing it because those are photos from first year. And again, if you're in first year uni, it's really good to do just to have a reminder of your family, your friends back home, and I love doing that. And I had frames of people all over my room first just to remind me that yeah, you're making friends, but you've got friends back home. Like, your life is still existing back home, you know? Like, it was just a good reminder, and I started doing it last year. It definitely was last year now. I remembered, and just kind of got the photos back. Now I've moved home. I will in a drawer, still have a tag on the back of them. When I pinned to my wardrobe last year because that was the only place where I would not leave a mark. I would have to pay back my deposit, you know, or lose my deposit even. I just put it to frames now, and I love it. It just makes my room feel so much more like my room again. As I said, like it's on the run, and my mum and there's no guest room. I don't have a dressing table anymore. I've only got a desk and some shelves in my room, but I've kind of moved it all around just to make it more, I don't know, to kind of give me a boost of motivation and just a different kind of headspace. And I don't know if I think I have talked about this, but because I work from home more so than I work in the office for my job, I realised that I was I was working at my desk in my room, just like always in my room all the time. And my dad was like, you need a different place for you to do your podcast, for your blog, your work, your PT course. Like, have your room where you can chill in, watch Netflix, just basically sleep in, and then somewhere you can go in the day, like an office, to do your work and to get on with your daily tasks. And I was like, I agree with that. So I've used my brother's old room for my office. And again, if you're like me, when you work from home quite a lot of the time, I think this is such a good idea to do because it is just like a different headspace. But recently, because it's winter and it's so cold in my brother's room, because it's such a big room and obviously no one really uses it other than me, it's so cold in there, and it's like kind of like in the part of the house we don't use, so like we don't put the radiators on or anything, so it's cold in there and I don't want to go in there all the time. I always think there's a massive spider in there as well. So I just work in my bed quite a lot of the time, especially the last few days that I've been ill. I've just been sat in my bed underneath my new fluffy duvet, which I just bought from the range. Honestly, run to the range because they have so many like fluffy Christmas duvets and everything for Christmas, obviously. And I bought just a fluffy one with the Christmas things on it so I can use it in January and February as well. But it's the best thing I've ever bought. Honestly, it was £20 for this duvet and I love it. Like, it is very hot if me and my boyfriend are both in it, but that's like twice a week, so it doesn't matter, we stick through that, it's fine. But I bought that and I bought an Oodie finally. Like, if you don't know what they are, they're kind of like a massive oversized fluffy hoodie dressing gown type thing. Like, if you remember, I don't know if many people had this, but as a kid, for like a towel, like going swimming, like especially on holiday, we had like the original Oodies, like the towel hoodie type things that you put on when you're a kid after swimming. And I wish they did adult ones of them because they're so good. Because like as a kid I was so cold getting out of the pool all the time. Now I just sunbathe, it's fine, but as a kid you don't sunbathe, so you just get cold. But they remind me of them. And I bought one again for like £12 from Amazon. I was not going to spend like £50 on a nice one from the actual website, so I got one of them. And already though, I had it for about 2 weeks, and I've just put it in the washing machine because as soon as I bought it I just wore it and I wear it every day. I don't recommend doing that because you just get shit all down it, and that's what happened to me, so I've just had to wash it, so I'm not wearing it today, which is so sad. But it's something that this morning I was going to put it on to go to therapy because I was like, my session today was very deep about something that I've not spoken about really to anyone, and it was a very emotional session and there was a lot of tears, and I wish I wore it or like brought a blanket or something. I don't know, I feel like for therapy you need to bring something very comforting to you, but that's why I tend to go in like a big hoodie, or like I'm wearing my boyfriend's hoodie today for example, something like that. But before I get on with today's episode, which is all about winter, which I've kind of already talked about a little bit, a little life update is that my job is going to be extended. I think I did talk about this in my last podcast. Yeah, I think I did. When they want to keep me at my job. It's not just an internship. I mean, it's not finalised yet. I've not actually had the meeting, but I've had a heads up about it. And I'm so excited. Like, as I said, like, I would be nowhere without my blog and my podcast. Like, this is what gave me the job and this is why they want to keep me on, so I'm very thankful for that. So if you've got a side hobby or a side hustle, keep going at it because it will get you somewhere. Even if it's not where you thought it would get you somewhere. I also posted a TikTok, and I post just random stuff on TikTok, just trends or I don't know, just Taylor Swift type things. I don't really take it seriously. I did have about 40 followers, right? And I posted this video yesterday. I thought nothing of it. If you've seen the ego trend by the Saturdays, where it's like the lyric is you need to have a sit down with your ego, are you like you're way too big for your boots kind of thing, and people like put a caption over the top saying like I know the one I put, which I thought I got wrong. You know those guys that get the modded cars and just rev past you, and they are the most, I don't know how to describe these guys, but they're so annoying. They are probably not very confident, but because they've got a big ass car, it's their mum's car that they've modded. You know exactly what I mean, right? You know those kind of people, right? So I put the caption as, and you're going to laugh at this, if you know what a Vauxhall Corsa is. I feel like if you're in the UK, a lot of people have those cars as their like first car when they're 17, 18. And this happens a lot in the Corsas. They get it modded, or the Golfs, the VW Golfs. I put as a caption, when a guy revs past you in a VW Corsa. And if you know anything about cars, there's no such thing as a Volkswagen Corsa, it's a Vauxhall Corsa, and I should have just put Corsa on it, but I didn't think people would get it, and apparently everyone got it, and they all think I'm just so blonde. And honestly, there's 400 comments on this video, there's 65,000 views on this video, and my average views are like 1,000, right, for Taylor Swift type TikToks. This one has got 65k views on it. And literally, I posted it yesterday, and it got about 1,000 views as like usual in about half an hour. I went on it, refreshed it, it said 13k. And I've never had like a K next to my numbers, you know, it's been like 1,000, that's it, maybe 2,000. And then I refreshed it again, like I kept refreshing it because I posted it at about like 4 o'clock, I want to say, maybe a bit earlier. And by about, like, before I went to bed, it was on 30,000. And I was like, I'm going to wake up to so many. And I woke up to 60,000 views. And it just keeps going up. And I think it's on 70 now. And honestly, everyone just keeps commenting on it. And it's just funny. I'm now going to start a trend. So if you're not following me, please go follow me. It's just Ellie Overfield. And honestly, it's so funny just to, like, act like I'm a blonde bimbo. Because I am quite a dizzy person. Dizzy, ditzy, whatever you want to say. I live up to the blonde nature. I'm not even naturally blonde. I'm naturally very brunette, very dark hair. But, you know, I'm going to live on that. And I just find it really funny. But anyway, is that everything that I need to update you on? Yeah, I think it is. And I'm also on my period, which is probably TMI, but that is why I'm sat in my bed right now. And that's what I'm going to do, because this is my second period in 3 years. And if you have ever been recovering from an eating disorder when you lost your period or something, or if you're an athlete and you've lost your period and then you get it back, it is the most excruciating pain you'll ever feel. Because my periods never used to be this bad when I was a kid. Like, they were just fine. Because again, I was doing a lot of sports, so they were like very mild periods, because obviously I didn't have like big ones anyway, because I'm quite small as well. But honestly, I've been dying. But anyway, on with the episode. Okay, I think I just said on with the video like a few seconds ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So today I wanted to talk about winter and this kind of need to hibernate. And if you've read my blog post on it that I posted a few days ago, you'll understand what I'm kind of talking about. And so, to kind of put it simply, we are mammals. And if you know anything about biology, mammals hibernate. Squirrels, for example, we have squirrels in the garden because my mum feeds the birds. I usually feed 7 squirrels every morning, and honestly it's the highlight of my day. I just watch them like ferret around. It's so good. And I just look at them, and it's November now, and because my mum keeps feeding them, they're not hibernating, and they should be burying acorns and ready for when they wake up, you know what I mean? And we are like the only mammal that does not hibernate. I get, because of like climate change at the moment, it is all changing a little bit, I feel like, because it is a bit warmer than usual. But on the most part, animals hibernate over winter. And we still have that natural instinct to do so. And this can make life so hard. And I feel like we're all feeling it at the moment, now that it's November and now that it is actually really cold. Even though it's sunny. So that's something to hang on to, I think. But I'm going to talk about that bit in a bit, like the positives of it. I'm going to talk about the negatives first, because we're going to finish it on a positive note, okay? So in winter, you feel so miserable. And I think this is a very universal feeling. And maybe there's some people that love it, and they love that everyone else is feeling unproductive and they feel so productive, blah, blah, blah. And you can still have those productive days over winter. But you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, you just feel utter rubbish during winter because the weather is cold. In the UK, it's usually raining. And even though it's so pretty, like leaves falling off, I love that. And I love the frost, like, glistening, etc. It's still, oh my god, it's still a horrible time. Other than Christmas, it's horrible. Especially in January and February, when it's just blatantly cold. Like, it's not even sorry about it. It's just, like, the weather is just like, I don't care, I'm just gonna be cold, you know, fuck you kind of vibe. And I hate it. I hate January so much. It's the longest month ever, I swear to God. Because, like, by the end of February, it's warming up the tiniest bit, you know, but January is just cold. I could talk about this for half an hour, but I'm not going to. So, yeah, and then during winter, I think the main thing about winter is everyone gets sad. As in, not the emotion, I know the emotion as well, but seasonal affective disorder. And I feel like this is not talked about enough. And people just kind of say, oh, it's just cold, that's why I'm down. No, you have sad. Everyone gets sad during winter. Like, it's a very common thing. And if you don't, well, I'm very jealous. But I do think that everyone gets it, or everyone I know gets it. Especially if you're still going to school, for example, or even work. I mean, it works the same way, but I remember it gets to this time of the year, after school, especially if we had hockey or something, but 4 o'clock it gets dark. Especially if we had hockey after school, finish at 5:30, it would be completely pitch black, and that used to annoy me so much, but I also kind of liked it. Like, as soon as you get back from school, you'd put your pyjamas on, and I mean, I did that anyway. Like, when I get home from work, or when I was at uni, even if I was on campus from like 9 till midday, I'd come back, put my, not pyjamas on, but put joggers on, put my comfies on, because like I want to be comfy when I'm at home, you know. That's why I work in my dressing gown in my pajamas every day until I build up the motivation to do a workout. And that's also another thing during winter, going to the gym or going for a walk, going for like your daily walk, even just putting on workout clothes, because I work out in like booty shorts and a sports bra, because I don't like having leggings on or like a t-shirt on. Like I usually just work out with bare minimum clothes on. And if I wake up and I'm just comfy in my bed, I'm not going to wake up and put that outfit on straight away. Like, that's just stupid of me. And I should, to get the motivation to do so. But no, I do not do that. Because again, I'm not pushing myself to work out when I don't want to work out. And I think everyone should follow that same rule, because listen to your body, guys. And I'm not going to talk about that today. But, you know what I'm on about. And I'm going to always preach that. So please listen to your body. If you don't want to work out, you don't want to work out. Do not push yourself, because it's not going to end well. Anyway. So I feel like the motivation to work out, especially if you go to the gym, if you've got to drive to the gym, you're like, oh, it's so much effort during winter, I don't want to do it. Generally, like in winter, a lot of people do gain weight, and that's okay. Like, we're eating a little bit more because that's in our natural instinct to eat more. And if you think about it, we don't have to. We could just eat the way we usually eat, but we don't want to. We want to seek comfort in something, and I don't think that's a bad thing. In summer is the time when everyone shrinks their bodies, even though, again, you don't have to do that, but it's the society, it's social expectations, etc. But besides that, like, that's the general kind of thing, isn't it? Like, you kind of like bulk up over winter, then you lose weight during summer. If you go to the gym, you know what I mean, you kind of do a bulk and then a shred. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It depends what your lifestyle is, but over winter we tend to eat more, we tend to crave more like fast food, hearty dinners, more like carbs in winter, because again, like, that's again in our natural instincts to do so. We like, what's the word, we like savor our energy. That's why we have less motivation, and we have less motivation if you ignore all of the kind of like biological clock, body clock, all of that. If you ignore the biology side of it, you just have less motivation in winter because it's dark and because it's rainy and you don't want to go outside, you don't want to go to work. And I think now that this year I'm working, I'm not at uni, because oh my god, last year at uni in the winter, because I didn't live on campus, I was in the second year, it was like an hour bus journey to get to campus. And of course I wouldn't go in the winter. If it was below 5 degrees, I would not go. I'm sorry, but I just would not get on that bus. I would not wait in the cold. If it's icy, I'd be like, I'm gonna fall over on the way to the bus stop. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I cannot remember like the amount of times that I would leave my like flat. The bus stop was about a 2-minute walk away, not even that. It was like, I don't know, 100 yards down the road, right, this bus stop. And if I went outside, I waited at the bus stop for about 10 minutes. If the bus didn't show when it was meant to show, because basically the buses to uni were meant to show up every 10 minutes, and if I waited there for 10 minutes and it hadn't shown, and I looked on like the tracker and it said there was one coming and there never was, I'd just go back. Literally, I'd wait 10 minutes. That would be it. Because I'm like, oh, I'd be late to my lecture now. When no, everyone else in my lecture would be on that bus. But I'd be like, no, I'm not going to go in. The amount of times I did that, and the amount of times I'd come back to the flat, and then I'd see my friend on the sofa, because she'd always sleep there if she had an essay due the next day, and she had a lot. I'd be like, do you want cheese board at like 9 a.m? We'd be like, yep, let's get some Lamborghini for lunchtime. Honestly, the amount of times, like, that's when my motivation goes down so much. And I am happy this year that I'm working, and it's a very different situation, because if I was at uni again this year, the same thing would happen, and my motivation just goes, because all uni students are the exact same. Like, a lot of people don't go to their seminars and their lectures, because at uni, like, it's up to you. They're not compulsory. If you're behind, that's your own fault. And I did get quite behind. Like, in term 2 last year, I did not go to a single one of my modules, and oh my god, this tutor, she was a lovely woman. She emailed me after like 3 weeks of not showing. She was like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, please let me know if there's anything going on and I can help you out with it. I know you've missed out on 3 lectures now in a row. And bearing in mind, this lecture was 9 till 11 a.m. in the morning on a Friday. And Thursday nights was when I'd usually go to my boyfriend's house, because, or he'd come to mine, because he didn't have anything on Fridays. And he knew I had stuff on Fridays, but for some reason we just both said, yeah, I'm just not going to go to them, because he knew that I did that quite a lot. And to be fair, that was the reason why I didn't go. But also because that was when I had my major mental breakdown about wanting to drop out. And I just emailed back saying, I've been ill. Mentally, I've been ill as well. She was like, oh, okay. And then at the end of the term, when I'd only been to one lecture, right, it was then the Easter holidays when I made my decision to drop out. And I emailed her and all my other tutors saying, I'm not going to be in, because after Easter was like 3 weeks before the like end of year exams, the like obviously the big exams to see if you pass the year. And I emailed them all saying, I'm not going to be in for the next 3 weeks. I'm at home going through some mental issues. I'm dropping out of uni, blah, 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 blah. So still doing my exams though. Within like 2 minutes of me sending that email, she Teams called me. Bearing in mind I said that I was at home and I was not doing well. She Teams called me with no warning. And I was like, oh my god. I was playing Minecraft at the time, right? And if you have a MacBook and if you play Minecraft, I don't play it. I've not actually played it in months. So that must mean my mental health is getting better. But if you ever play Minecraft on a MacBook, it sounds like an airplane is taking off. The fan goes crazy because obviously it's quite a big thing. And I don't know why we're talking about Minecraft right now, but I am. Just trying to be real with you right here. And like the what's the word? The application? The app? Is that the right word to say? What's a MacBook thing like? What are the icons? They are applications, yeah. So the Minecraft app like doesn't close down straight away on a MacBook. There's a bit of lag. And I was trying to close it down to answer the call, but I couldn't. So then I missed the call and I just like texted her. I was like, oh sorry, like I'm here, call me back in a sec. She must have thought like I was in bed, but I was still in my pyjamas. I looked disgusting. My hair was disgusting. I had no makeup on. I looked like I'd just woken up, and this was at like 2 p.m, right? On like a Wednesday. And it was a video call as well. And I logged on and it was so embarrassing. She looked at me, she was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, did you see my email? Then I explained everything to her in particular. And she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry to hear that. If you need any help, I'll send it over to you. The point of this story was to show you that, yeah, winter is a horrible time, but sometimes you have a horrible time all year round. So I know I'm talking about, yeah, everyone gets seasonal affective disorder, everyone's miserable during winter, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you can still have those feelings all year round. And I feel like we have this label on winter that it's always going to be bad and we're always going to have sad and we're always just going to be down. And on the most part, I feel like that is kind of true because we can't help it. We can't help the weather being shit. And as soon as it's sunny, like in the summer, like I feel like it's May, April, March, like when it starts to get sunny again and we have the odd really nice days, especially in April and May, it's always so sunny outside. When that starts happening, my mood elevates, it goes through the roof. And I need to start like changing that around to winter and find the beauty in winter. And now I'm going on to the positives of winter, like what happens in winter? Christmas. And I know some people don't celebrate Christmas, and I get that, I honestly do. And my family is definitely not religious in any way. We are not religious, and we treat Christmas as, I feel like most people do actually, just a day where people get together, you celebrate, you have great food, and it's just a time to just relax, I guess, during winter. And again, I know Christmas can also be very problematic for those who do celebrate Christmas, but you might have lost a family member recently, your parents might have got a divorce, so you've got to balance it with whose house do you go to at Christmas, etc. And it is a difficult time for a lot of people. And I shared another blog post recently about Christmas time with people in recovery with anorexia, for example. It is also a trigger for me as well. But for the most part, again, I don't know how many times I've used that phrase, but we're going to use it again. For the most part, I love Christmas. I love the lead up from now, from like November, because I'm sorry, I am that person that I'm like, yay, it's Christmas as soon as it turns 1st of November. Halloween's out the way, you've got 2 months left of the year, it's Christmas. Otherwise, you've got like 20 days to celebrate Christmas, and that's not fun, you know? So I want to get the Christmas decorations up soon. I'm going to tell my mum to get it all down from the loft just because I really, really, really want to decorate. And I've actually just realised that all year round I have these 2 Christmas decorations on my desk. Like I've got this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, it's like a mini dome. It's not a snow globe. It's like a dome over like a wooden Christmas tree, like a glass dome over a wooden Christmas tree that lights up. So it's kind of like a snow globe. But I have that on my desk, as well as like, if you know what I don't think anyone else does but my family, but if you know what a gonk is, it's like a little gnome type thing, like a Santa gnome, I want to say. I've got one of them with my name on, and I have that on my desk all year round for the last 2 years, and I've just actually seen that, and that's quite funny. But for me, Christmas is just a time, it's just happiness. Honestly, like, even though there's some triggers for some people and there's triggers for me, I ignore it and just replace it with, hey, it's Christmas, I get to see family, I get to have fun, there's presents, there's music, there's food, and it's just a really fun time. Even though I know a few people will be like, oh, Christmas, consumerism, or other, I don't know, other terms like that. I do get that, but I love Christmas. I'm always going to love Christmas, and it's such a magical time, even though Santa's not real, etc. There's no actual magic, but it's still a magical time. And I'm praying that there's snow this year. I feel like there's always snow, either just before Christmas, like beginning of December, or just after. It's never actually a white Christmas, and I really want that this year. I'm going to manifest it so hard because I love snow. And I feel like we've not had snow in so long, although it did snow, I feel like the beginning of the year. I want to say it did. And I remember in first year, so this time 2 years ago it snowed, I remember that. And it was just such a fun time. Like, we were just playing outside in the snow, and I've never seen people go from like an adult, like age 18, to a 4-year-old straight away as soon as it snows. Like, everyone just goes crazy, and I love it. Absolutely love the snow. So that's kind of my advice today, is just focus on the beauty in everything. Even if you, like me, get very, very sad and down at Christmas time, not at Christmas time, but in the winter, just think, hey, like, it's the end of the year. Look back on your achievements at the end of the year. As I said in my last podcast, look at how far you've come all year, or, I don't know, laugh at the drama you've had this year and all the events that have happened. That's what I do. I do every year, actually, in January, or just before Christmas, actually. I write a Word document, and I go through the months like a big diary, like 3 pages per month of just writing down like all the main things that have happened. Like, I look back through my photos or my Snapchat memories or my diary to like see what happened each month, and I just write it down every year. And it's a great thing to do, just to keep account of everything in one place, and I do love doing it, because then I'll look back on that in years to come and be like, wow, that year was a crazy year, or God, a lot happened to me during that year. But it is a really, really fun time, I think. And I just love this time of the year again, for that reason, just looking back on everything. And you have 2 months left, like, enjoy it. I know, like, for a lot of the time, especially if you're in the academic world, you know, like, Christmas time is like not even halfway through like the academic year, it's a third of the way through, and you're like, it makes no sense to me. Like, New Year's, yeah, it's a new calendar year, but I'm at school, so it doesn't matter. I get that, but now I'm out of that now. I'm just like, yeah, it's a brand new year. Like, go me, even if I'm in the same job or whatever, it's a brand new year. And I love New Year's so much, because it is a start of something new, if you've watched High School Musical. A little plug there. But yeah, I think that's all the advice I've got. I think today I really spoke more about myself than advice, and I've been doing that a lot lately, but I feel like someone can relate to everything I have to say. But I encourage you to kind of find the beauty in everything when you're feeling down. Just think, oh my god, it's rainy, it's like windy out there, but then look at the trees, like, they're really pretty right now. In my garden, they're all brown, orange, yellow. I love when leaves go like that, and I love when the leaves fall off and it's so autumny outside, and then when the frost comes, it's so like glistening. Just like, think of the beauty in things, especially in nature, because there's always beauty in that. Also, this winter, allow yourself to have that rest. Allow yourself to just recover from the long year you've had. Like, that's the only advice I can give, especially if you don't work during the week, like the last week of the year, so between Christmas and New Year. That's my favourite week ever, because you do absolutely nothing. Okay, so try and do that again this year, and you will really enjoy it. I do promise you that. I'm going to sign off now, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please rate, review, share, send it to your friends, your parents, whoever you want to share it to, and I'll speak to you very soon, because there's a lot on my mind recently, so I'll be sharing a lot more episodes with you. So have a good day, and goodbye.